Another month of lit chicks in Carla's pool.
That wasn't a good splash.
Not one of those slow motion splashes. The reason we're in the pool is because one, it's summer and it's really hot in Florida, and two, because this month we read Beach Read, which so many people have already read, I believe.
Many.
And I think this is why we picked it.
Yeah, we were just like, gosh, I think it's perfect for her now.
Yeah, because I mean, it's literally called Beach Read.
When we were discussing it, we're like, what read were we gonna read? The beach one? That Beach Read?
You know,
and then we're like,
one?
I think that's the name of it, Beach Read.
I think that's exactly how it is. And every time I would look it up, like it would come up, but other beach reads would come up. So I'm like, which one was the one that we picked? Oh, it was Beach Read. So in Beach Read, we have January, and January is a rom-com. Well, not rom-com. I think she's classified as women's lit.
Yes.
Which is a thing that she's like, I don't know why it's women's lit, blah blah blah, which is true. But she's classified as a women's lit author. And so something happens in her life. Her father passes away, and she finds out that he had a beach cottage in Michigan. So in the very big lake, which is big, so it's basically a beach. And so she goes and stays at the cottage because she's broke. She's trying to write her next book. She's, you know, doesn't know what to do.
She wants to get down to the bottom of like this mysterious home I didn't know about. Yeah, let me go. You know,
like what's going on here.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I'll just use that since I'm out of money, so it's a free place to stay. I'll write my book, sell the house, right? And then what happens is, next door lives another author, Augustus, or to her, known as Gus, because they actually went to college together. They lived together, and he actually also became an author, but he's more like literary fiction, like think like Ernest Hemingway, kind of.
Super deep.
Yeah.
Super,
like,
what was it that they called it? Like mushy writing or whatever?
I don't know. I don't remember what it was.
Mushy endings or icky endings.
Yeah, like everyone dies at the end, pretty much. Like everything's horrible, super cynical. So he writes those kind of books. Like the very, you know, we read those books sometimes too, and I almost fell backwards. I'm just like, okay. Oh my god, this is horrible.
Hopefully we stay dry this whole damn thing.
Oh my god, seriously. So then, but they have this sort of like rivalry because he writes literary fiction and she writes more like happily ever afters. That was like a thing when she was in high school. It was mostly always happy endings, always romance, because there was other stuff happening in her life that made her want to escape, which is what a lot of us do. Why we read romance is we like that escape. We like to know that there's something good out there, that not all is bad in the world. That's a constant theme in the book, of course.
Yeah.
And so basically, you know, they have this rivalry, and what happens is they, you know, start talking to each other, and they remember, you know, he remembers her, she remembers him. They decide to make a bet that she doesn't think he can write a rom-com or a romance novel, and he doesn't think that she can write a literary fiction, something where there's no happy ending. So they decide to go ahead and take each other up on that bet, pretty much. So they said, this whole summer we're gonna write in each other's form of genre, and whoever wins gets and sells their book first, they get to give them like those blurbs and, you know, all those things. Tours,
I love that challenge. I'm like, okay, it's on. Like the competitive part of me, I was like, you better get it, girl.
I was like, you better write something so depressing that even he cries. So that's pretty much the gist of the book. And then they have like these dates that they have to go on every weekend, where it's like research for them. Like one night is romance research, so she'll figure out like dates and stuff that they have to do. And then for him, so on his dates, research dates, it's really like cynical stuff that they have to do, like interview people that have gone through really hard, like horrible things. So, but as time progresses, you know, they start to get to know more about each other. While writing each other's books, they learn more about themselves as well. I guess, like because she's really trying to come to terms with her father's death and what's happening, and
he also has like closure that he has to face.
He's also going through his
own journey that he's having, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So that plays a lot into it, but I feel like I can't give too much away.
Yeah.
Because the whole them getting to know each other is like just had me at the edge of my seat the whole time.
These were like really good dates, and that's the thing, that they didn't even label it dates because it was like research that they were doing together to, you know, gather up details and intel and all that. But they were like legit dates where they had to touch on like deep topics and like talk about deep aspects of their psyche and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that.
And I think through that, that's how they got to know each other, because they had to kind of, I don't know, dive deep into each other's, what they were going through. And you know, January would push to find out more, and then he would also like ask questions. So a lot of communication in this book, which is also I feel like a really good theme, like just communicating with loved ones, whether it's a romantic relationship or not, because that's another thing as well. With her father, she's learning a lot about her father here because this is where he grew up. So very interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed this book.
So good.
So good. Everything. The romance, the sad parts.
I feel like it's like a deep novel, but it has like a cutesy flair.
Yeah.
But it touches on deep topics, you know?
Yeah.
They don't fall in love with each other in a quintessential way, you know, that you would always see. It's a slow...
I think it might be more realistic as to how people how people actually get to know each other, and especially later on in life.
They argue a lot too, because they're so stubborn, you know? So it's not like an easy like, oh, swoon, 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 fall in love. It's kind of like argument, dig deeper, you know, kind of thing.
No, yeah, for sure. But yeah, definitely, I think it's a more realistic way. They're getting to know each other by doing shared activities, which is what most of us do. Like, I'll call Carly, like, what should I do for this date? Give me ideas. You know, it's pretty much like what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it, you know, it works. And again, sad moments, romance moments, sexy moments,
and self-growth and healing,
and a lot of self-growth and healing. Yes. Masculinity
factor. I don't know, like, I would even say some of the stuff she discovers about her father are not very good, but like, but this book is so good at showing the human quality of people, that we're all human, we make mistakes, we make the wrong decisions, we give in to our own selfishness sometimes. So I don't know, it's like I don't want to call anybody a wimp or totally a tool,
because he's not. Not to give anything away, you find out pretty early on in the book anyways. Not that I'm gonna say, but there's something that he does that's really bad, and then it's like, you can probably guess by how I'm being so mysterious, but it's not condonable, like what he does. But like, as you get to know him in memory, you kind of, like Carla said, you kind of not understand, but you are like, okay, but not like I'm saying no, it's not forgivable. I mean, it's like you forgive this person, but it's something that you probably wouldn't forgive. But like, it takes a strong person to forgive. But you see the psychological process of these choices so
being made.
So, but you're right,
as vague as possible.
I'm like, but I wouldn't, like Carla said, I don't think I would say he's toxic.
No.
And he's not a wimp.
No.
And then with Augustus, the same thing. I'm sorry, like,
he's like healing from some deep wounds.
Something really like tough is going on in his life, and he's actually kind of normal to me. I find him like in the middle of the spectrum, because he's not toxic, he's not a wimp. He's just going through something that's not allowing him to move forward, so it's making decisions harder. Does that make sense? I don't know.
And you understand why he's so bitter for sometimes, because he comes across that way. He'll come across cold all of a sudden. That's one of his characteristics, and she will second guess herself, right? Because if they're in the middle of falling in love and then all of a sudden he's cold, she's like, you know, we've all been through that. That's the realistic part, right? Where you're like, why is he cold all of a sudden? We were just laughing 5 minutes ago.
Oh my god, like when they're starting to text each other, and then like they're waiting a certain amount of time before texting each other, and I'm just like, wow, that's so relatable,
realistic,
because you're just like, I don't want to be the first one to text in 2 seconds, or you know, things like that.
Pretty much. So he's not super toxic.
I don't know, there's no toxic people really.
I think everyone here here is like,
except maybe her ex-boyfriend.
oh god,
like he's too perfect.
Jacques or whatever.
Jacket.
Oh yeah.
Jacket. Maybe that's not how you say it. It's like Carly.
Jacket.
I pronounced it Jackus in my head. So every time his name would come up, I was
Jackass is a punk.
Jackass. Yeah, he was just like too perfect, and if that there's such a thing as too perfect, but like it was like superficial love.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing deep.
It was nothing.
It was not head over heels.
No. and then we have
Sexy factor.
Sexy factor.
This has the best amount. I think.
Yeah.
It's not raunch and smut all over every page, but there's a sprinkle of this and a sprinkle of that.
Yeah, like if you like that, which a lot of us do like that, because it does give us like, I mean, it gives more to the story.
Yeah.
But also for people who like more of the rom-com
and more of the dialogue and the character growth.
You get like a perfect mixture of everything. I think that's why I love this book so much.
It's so well balanced.
Because once I got to those scenes, I was like,
yeah,
oh my God,
like she doesn't shy away,
and
it's tastefully done as well. It's nothing that's gonna like smack you in the face and you're gonna be like grotesque kind of level. No, it's very tastefully done, really spicy in the right way.
So with that being said, all the sexy time.
Yes.
Movie rating.
I think because of the kind of sexy time, I would say R. I wouldn't make this PG-13.
No, because also the stuff that they talk about and the field trips that they go on, like for the cynical literary fiction ones, those are kind of sad.
Those are, I mean, they talk about, you know, like suicide groups. That's like not PG-13 stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So like they get really deep into the like deep talks.
In dark of humans or whatever.
Yeah. And I mean there is a lot of other stuff involved too, and then the scenes as well, they are pretty, they're not graphic, but they are very
detailed.
You know, they're detailed. So I would totally say rated R, especially because we want to keep it all in there.
I want to keep it all in there, please.
Yeah.
Rated R.
I would want to keep it all in there. So yeah. Takeaways.
This book, even though it touched on a lot of heavy topics, whether it be heartbreak, depression, man, like when someone disappoints you, it still had the counteract of that. It had such positivity and such swoony, beautiful writing. It was so well written.
Yes, so well written. I have to agree with that.
I want to share something that when they're writing the novel, I believe that January says this because he has to write the rom-com or the chick lit one. So she says like the cutest little quote. She says, here's the thing about writing happily ever afters. It helps if you believe in them. Because where he's at, he doesn't believe in them. She's like, hello, you have to believe in them.
It's like the law of attraction.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna attract what you know,
what you put out and what you ask for, it'll come to you.
You know, I want
happily ever after.
Exactly. If you want a happily ever after, then it's gonna happen. Exactly. But I have to agree with Carla. I think there were so many little bouts of wisdom in this book, like throughout the whole book. I was just like, wow, we're gonna be sharing lots of quotes. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot because literally everything and there's so many things that validates why we read romance too, because she is a romance writer for the most part. It just validates why people, because that's she's trying to convince us. She's like, look, romance, and he does understand, which is something that comes later on in the book, because he's like no, it's true, like, you know, people see this and it is like a really important thing because people do need hope, you know, if they're going through something. Because in her case, you know, she's going through, the reason she gets into romance writing is because she's going through a tough time with her family, like something's going on with her mother and, you know, her father, and that's what opens up this world of romance. And probably especially now with all of these things happening, like romance is nice to read because it gives you hope.
A romance book.
That, you know, or thriller.
Go to the other
side of the spectrum. That
makes you thankful of your current situation.
You're like, well, I'm glad that wasn't me.
I'm glad I don't have a stalker.
Right, good thing.
Trying to steal my identity and my husband.
Yeah, exactly. So, with that being said, that's why it's like a struggle throughout the whole book, and you know why, basically why romance is good, why love is good, why having this hope is good. And so Gus says this. He says, I think it's brave to believe in love. I mean the lasting kind. to try for that, even knowing it can hurt you.
Ever so wise.
Yeah, there's always a possibility of getting hurt. There's always a possibility.
Actually, the ones you love most hurt you the worst.
Yes, exactly. And it might not even be, as the book states, it might not even be someone breaking up with you or doing something bad. It might be the possibility of something happening to your loved one.
Yeah.
Or, you know, so that also sometimes holds people back because they don't want something so good taken, which is something that he says a lot, that like some of the characters in this book don't want to start a relationship because they don't want to put themselves in the possibility of losing something really good.
Oh, and that's like so truthful, so relevant.
Yeah,
you know?
It's scary. Like, you know, we always say that, you know, or in like Fleabag says that, you know, love is only something great people do.
Yeah. All hail Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yeah, you have to listen to Fleabag.
Also watch Fleabag.
Yeah, also side note, it's a great show on Earth. But yeah, but this was a really, I was expecting something a little bit fluffier.
Yeah, same.
Just with the way it looks, like it looks really, you know.
Just fluffy and not too complicated to, you know, dive into, but like she takes you through these complicated situations, feelings, situations, conversations beautifully though, like with such pretty prose.
Yeah.
You know?
She has like all these inner thoughts and she's kind of working through her emotions, and you're just like, wow, like, yes, I agree.
I hate him and I love him. You're right.
I hate him and I love him. This sucks. But yes, but definitely read it. Oh, also, can I just say one last thing? I love how messy she is.
Yeah,
I love how messy she is. She's not all put together. No. She puts on her shorts and her t-shirt, and then she wears some random boots. And
she's like clumsy. She falls. And
she drinks.
Like, yeah, she gets like drunk and stuff. She can be a little bit messy, and I like that.
I like it too.
Cheers, girl.
Like us. I almost fell 50 times. But yes, highly recommend Beach Read by Emily Henry. If you read it, let us know, because I know a lot of you read it.
Let's talk about it, baby.
And yeah, and we'll see you next month.